Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Masks Monday. It is session 21 of Masks of Nyarlathotep, and we are a couple of sessions into the Egypt chapter. Let's go around and reintroduce the characters before we get onto our summary. Shall we start with Pranit? I always get this wrong. Pranit.
Yeah, that's me. I'm Pranit Singh Dillon. I'm a former soldier that recently had found new friends. You can see Winston, Perry, and the amazing, the one and only Françoise. And with this trio, he decided to leave for Egypt in order to find some more, let's say, clues about the Carlisle expedition and all these peculiar events that they lived all together since the beginning, or at some point in time at least.
It's somehow just manifested in their
Yeah.
mind. And Françoise.
Hey, what? Sorry, I wasn't listening. No, I'm kidding. Hello. So I should be playing Françoise. I am the only competent person here, frankly. Do not listen to these others. They are all imbeciles.
There we go. There's the accent. It kind of went through a drawl of Deep South for a bit there. I just wanted
You're
to
just
say...
lying because you have no idea what a badly acted French person sounds like when they have lived in Peru for much of their life. This is all on you.
Carolina. And someone
absolutely not. Lies.
Someone from
It's
nearer,
slanderous.
at least, to North Carolina or whatever. Perry?
Yeah, Perry Astor, Canadian explorer, and still struggling to shrug off this wound he picked up a couple episodes ago.
I thought you said Shoggoth. If so, then pun is very much intended.
Shrug off.
Yes, we'll see if that ever gets free of you. And Winston?
Okay, I'm not going to jinx myself this week because I damn near came a cropper last week for that. So yes, I'm playing Winston. I am the archaeologist of the group. And yeah, so far, so good. Touching lots of wood.
Yes, would you like to also give us a summary for how you tripped over a load of boxes?
Yes, I stubbed my toe on the way to hitting the deck at full face. That's a summary of how I fell on my face. Yes, we started with a brief going back to Françoise, who was still dining with the captain. He was trying to seduce her. She was having none of it, thank God. And the only real piece of information she got out of him, other than, destination and all that, was the fact that he didn't really know Gavigan. So whoever was giving orders was a third party. Meanwhile, we intrepid menfolk went searching for our testicles, which Françoise had hidden. And we went for the ship to find them. And we were carrying boxes of various things out. We had successfully managed to switch various labels on some of the cargo. We got into I don't want to say we got into a firefight. We got into a knife fight, but we were carrying guns. And we made a run for it. And we got off the ship, although myself and Perry were wounded, Perry quite badly. We got back. We got some hospital care. Françoise and Pranit started looking at some of the boxes and these mechanical parts that were there. And some of it looked extremely advanced. Some of the stuff that we've nicked. And we were discussing possibly about sending a message on to Aiden, some sort of telegram, in a bid to stop the ship, slow up the ship. Sort of, we were discussing whether or not to send the possibility of saying that the ship was carrying contraband or something to get it delayed even further. After much discussion, we decided to head to Cairo by train. We decided to debark all in the same hotel this time, the Shepherd's Hotel, which luckily for us was right near the newspaper office and the American consulate, which helped a lot. We worked out that Jazira Mahabad is a small village or town about 9 kilometers outside of Cairo. And there's also a small island on the Nile called Gazira, which we might be looking at as well. And then we sort of split in two, and the bulk of what I'm about to say came from the newspaper offices of the Cairo Bulletin and the wonderfully helpful, but we're still considering to be slightly sinister, Nigel Wasif. He'd heard about the Black Pharaoh and this cult, but didn't really know details, or he said he doesn't know details. He did, however, bring up an article about a mysterious fire that had hit the antique shop or antiquity shop of Faraz Najjar. He survived, but his shop was pretty much ruined. This is a name that had come up in a letter from Warren Bassell. We also discovered that the Carlisle expedition was in Cairo at the time of this incident, although we're not sure whether that necessarily means that they were that the two are linked, just that, you know, they were there at the time. There is a picture of the Carlisle expedition taken at the Turf Club, spelt with a U. That needed to be clarified last week. We've kept the photo. But further, we sort of noted that they went from Gaza to Saqqara, then Dashur. And then on to Mombasa. But there seems to be a discrepancy. A picture we have shows them in Mombasa in May and not July, as we had previously ascertained. So there's a discrepancy there. One name that did come up from papers we'd already got was Omar Al-Shakti. He's a cotton plantation owner. He's known to be a bit of a ruthless businessman, a bit of a bully and a penny pincher. Obviously, we know he's involved, but we don't know at what kind of level. We're pretty sure that the Cairo Museum, if they're not in on all of this, then someone working at the Cairo Museum might be, because some of these artifacts that are coming off the ship are meant to be going there. As for the Clive expedition, they unearthed a mummy of Queen Nitocris at Giza, but the mummy, the whole sarcophagus, disappeared, which is extremely worrying, because there was only one way in and out of that bloody place, and it was well guarded, and somehow an extremely heavy sarcophagus went poof. So that's kind of worrying. We did hear of a few members of the Clive expedition. Dr. Henry Clive himself, Martin Wingfield, Agatha Broadmoor, James Gardner, Johanna Schreck, and there was one other one, Van Heuveland, who was sacked from the expedition that we need to sort of look at as well. At the consulate, really just clarifying a lot of those, and they're looking into getting us arranging travel to actually go to the Clive expedition, which is currently at Memphis. And maybe helping us with getting a car hire as well, by not getting the car from us, but pointing us in the direction of reputable dealers. And that's pretty much where we left it.
Fabulous. Roll yourself a D8, Winston.
I want at least a D20 for that.
Well, I was thinking if you do any side quests, as it were, in this, I'm tempted to give you an improvement phase as well now, as well as the sanity rewards and stuff if you do well at it. So there you go. Okay, so quick roll call of sanity then. So Françoise, you're still on 93, are you not? Perry?
Sanity 76, luck 33.
33. Curio. Pranit?
64 sanity and 11 luck.
11 luck, yep. And Winston?
I'm at 83 sanity and I'm now on 16 luck.
16 luck. And Françoise, you're on 11 luck, I believe, are you? Or have you?
I have it down as 7.
7, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you used a lot last week.
Yeah.
I could see my hit points.
I was going to ask about that. They're still at 2, aren't they? That's how you look. How much you lost before? Yeah. Okay, fine. Because I know that you're not gaining them back. I just wanted to check. Okay, you've definitely got that, as opposed to say a bit more for medical attention. Right. So, I imagine you will meet back up once you've had your chats with your respective parties, shall we say, either Niger Wasif or the American consulate. And you kind of, I guess, spend a little bit of time in the sort of balmy hours of the afternoon, maybe doing a little bit of exploring of the area, because it is very pleasant. There's a park pretty much right next to the consulate, for one thing, called Becky Park, where you notice a lot of tourists, a lot of foreigners, and it seems like a lot of, shall we say, white people tend to frequent the restaurants around this area in particular. So yeah, 3 o'clock. Naturally, you've still got a few leads you could potentially follow today. Or if you want, we could always skip to the evening. It is entirely up to you.
We were supposed to wait for the guide, though. That was supposed to show up in the afternoon.
I completely forgot. Yes, the guide will have turned up by now at the hotel.
Yeah. Well, I was going to... I really wanted to have a nosy at the Cairo Museum, not necessarily to ask questions, but at least get a feel for the place.
Now, this isn't a complaint, but because the corkboard has changed so much since last week, my visual memory is now shut, and I have no idea what our clues are.
Okay.
Well, we had we wanted to try the 3 I remember was, well, 3 if we include the museum, but that's me throwing that in today. We need to find Najjar.
Jar.
Yeah. So Faraz Najjar, he's the antiquities guy whose place was burnt to the ground from some fire demon thing. You've got the Omar al-Shakti stuff, which is out in Ghazira Mohammed, but you need the car to get up there.
I can't find any of this on the board.
It's all on the right. Look where I am.
Not necessarily immediately, but certainly within the next couple of days, hopefully, going to Memphis and the Clive expedition as well.
see if this guy that got sacked is still in Cairo.
Yes, Van Hoevelen was another.
Yeah.
Was another one.
Okay. So with those two, with Van Hoevelen, you're waiting for Nigel to possibly find out where he is, because at the moment you're
Yeah.
not sure.
He told us
With
that it
Clive,
might be in the old city. That, if I recall correctly, is where the antiquities shop was. That's right.
with the Clive expedition, yes, obviously you could go out to Memphis. The consulate have agreed to basically help you get some papers sorted, so you have a legitimate way of entering.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Okay. Are we gonna meet this guide now, or?
I would like to go get the guy to go see the Jar fellow in the Street of Jackals.
Okay.
I'm on board with that.
No worries. Right. So
We can also split up again.
yes. Okay. So this is your guide, whom you're putting your absolute trust in. He introduced himself very, very politely, but he definitely has a bit of a presence about him, as if he has a reputation. And he kind of shakes hands with the concierges and receptionists and things like that. They obviously know him very well, and say, "Welcome, my friends, to Egypt. I hope you have a fantastic holiday here, or time here, whatever you choose to do here. I am, shall we say, at your mercy. So tell me where you would like to go, and I hope to, well, endeavor to at least guide you there and give you advice and tips about how to spend your time here."
Yeah, well, thank you for agreeing to be our guide. You come highly recommended.
Yes, I have been into trade now for nearly 10 years or so. I started when I was very young.
Do you do any guiding for any expeditions at all?
Oh, you mean out to the pyramids, I guess?
Yeah, anything like that?
Many many foreigners in particular, they want to visit the pyramids. They want to see the splendor they hold. So yes, I have been out to Giza many times, Memphis as well sometimes, although Giza is the how you say hotspot for tourists. Fairly well, yes. There are a couple of pyramids out there and big ruins. It is more sort of a city out there, an ancient city that is being excavated at the moment.
Okay, that's interesting. Have you ever
Plenty
worked?
of other places as well, further down the Nile, if you want to go there.
Have you ever worked for any expeditions at all?
Oh, you mean doing the the dirty work,
Yeah.
the digging?
Not the digging, but I mean, have you ever been a translator or a guide for any of the dig members, or?
Not for digs specifically. I try to keep within the tourist sector, but I am happy to translate if you are interested in visiting any of these expeditions, if you have arrangements set up with them.
Okay, thank you.
I am of course Arabic, but I know French quite well. I could maybe dabble a little bit in Spanish, but I'm not so good at that.
It is fine. I speak both French and Spanish.
Ah, magnifique, madame. So where to first? Do you want to go to the pyramids?
Maybe tomorrow.
The Street of Jackals.
Yeah, we'd like to visit the old city first.
He sort of glances at the receptionist and goes, "Are you sure? It's not a normal holiday destination for people. Naturally, if you want to go there, I would take you."
Don't say that to the lady.
You will
Don't say that.
find that we are not your normal holiday clients.
Business then?
Let's put it that way. Yes.
All right.
Business.
Okay. Well, it is probably a good thing that you have me there. You know, I can help translate and sort of business and things.
Right? Do
right.
we need everyone to go to the Street of Jackals? Because I really want to try and hit the museum and get a layout of the place before it shuts.
Oh,
I'm
is it
pretty
just the
sure-
museum? Let me see. What time now? It closes at 4:30, I believe. So you have a bit of time.
It'd be a quick try. It'd be a quick trip. It's up to you guys.
As I said, we can either split up or move the museum to tomorrow morning. If it's 3 and it closes at 4.
I would prefer, actually, if we're only going to get an hour out of it, I would rather wait till the morning.
The museum is open most of the day, even
Yeah.
during prayers, and on Friday it is open.
Yeah, we'll hit the museum tomorrow. I thought maybe we had a couple hours on that, but if it's only an hour or so, then because it's only really going to be an hour-ish, really.
Very well. The Street of Jackals. I think I remember where that is. Like I said, most people I help do not wish to go anywhere near the place. But needs must.
Does it have a bit of a reputation?
Well, yes. Have you not heard of the? Maybe shall we walk and talk? I'll get a cart for us. There was a terrible fire a few years ago. It is deemed as cursed by locals.
Right, okay.
A man, his name Faraz. I think he managed to escape, but his whole shop is flattened.
Did he open up business somewhere else, or?
I believe he did, but I do not know where exactly. I think maybe if we go there, then locals will be able to help with that. Hopefully, they remember.
I am carrying, by the way. I am packing. I'm bringing my pistol.
Are you packing heat?
I'm packing heat.
Not that it's
I'm
hot
coming
enough
to this
already for
desert
you.
town. I'm coming to this desert town and packing heat.
Coolio. Okay. So yeah, you head on over to the Street of Jackals, which basically it's definitely east-ish. You definitely feel you're going south a little bit for about a mile and a half. But I guess given as well, he's providing you a service. He doesn't hesitate in getting you sort of a method of transport to help, rather than insist that you walk everywhere. But yeah, he takes you down to the Street of Jackals. 4 o'clock. So at the moment, it's quite busy. Definitely not prayers, you think, at this point in the day. And there's sort of vendors and things just sort of along the single street. There's a few definitely more local buyers rather than sort of French, English people, etc. But you kind of carry on further down. I'm assuming, by the way, that you're looking for this burnt out
Well,
shop.
I'm going to say to him that this story you tell us of this cursed shop intrigues me. Could you show me where the site of this fire was? I am intrigued. As a spiritual man, I am intrigued by local superstition.
It is hard to miss, my friend. I will show you. And yeah, he takes you further up. You're kind of accosted a bit by sellers. They very much want to sell you things like pots and kettles and things like sort of metal kettles, various other things. He tries to sort of wave them away and say that you're not interested unless you very much want to buy something. But there's nothing really kind of exotic or kind of like a bazaar of sorts here. It's just like a sort of a simple street.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you head up near towards the end where it starts to get a bit quieter, there's still people milling about a little bit, but you notice there's kind of this gap, and you can even just there's a very slight smell of burnt timber or structure, and you just hear the sounds of faint Allahu Akbars kind of nearby, and you see this kind of rubble-ridden what was a building, kind of tucked between two more. There's been no effort at all to even tidy it up, let alone, get rid of everything and try and rebuild at all. It's just,
So is the
pretty
rubble
much as it
just
was.
building, or is there the burnt remains of his stock in there?
Yeah, there's plenty of burnt remains as well, although there's a lot of stone masonry and things that kind of cover all that up. Almost the whole building is just completely destroyed. So Liam says he's going to go and chat to some locals and see if he can find out where Faraz is now. But he does leave you by the building if you want to do anything.
Yeah, shift a few bits of rubble around, see if we can see what's underneath it all, as it were.
Okay.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah. I actually wanted to ask the guy, Salim, if I don't know if it is the correct word for what I'm trying to convey here, but if it isn't weird that no thieves came to ransack what was left.
He shrugs his shoulders at you and says, from what I know, there wasn't really much left at all. It was destroyed thoroughly, I suppose is the best way to put it. Whether it was an oil lamp or not, or something else, the fire enveloped everything almost. Not much left there at all, except rubble.
Are the nearby buildings burned?
A little bit, yeah. You can definitely see there's sort of little
Stains.
Yeah, kind of a bit of charred stains, but you think that maybe there's been a bit of effort to at least sort of give them a bit of a paint over.
But what I'm trying to understand if the fire didn't spread.
Yeah. It was pretty much isolated to this one building. There's not really much at all where it's spread further, and if it has, it's been restored or rebuilt.
All right.
So Françoise, you're kind of dipping through, I guess, and yeah, it's definitely been burnt. But in terms of, again, what it was exactly, it's very hard to determine. Lots of charred wood, things like that. There is a little bit of sort of like fabric, maybe from a big sack of something like grain or spices, something like that.
So can I deduce from any of the burnt remains what this guy used to actually sell? Because the letter talked about curios, and I'm wondering if it was something he traded in, or whether it was like just something he'd picked up that was separate to his trade.
What I'll say is that you find kind of a third of a big sign that you presume was stuck on the doorway, which seems to match up with curiosities of sorts. But again, whether that was definitely what he sold, you don't really know. You can't see anything that seems to have survived inside this building.
Okay.
This as we're sort of walking around, I sort of say to the rest of them, this talk of a fire demon reminds me of the. Do you remember? Do you remember? I went to see Mr. Tilesman at the asylum in London, and he talked about a fiery. He talked about the fire that destroyed his home as if it was alive.
Yes, he did. year was that?
Kept talking about it. It was coming for him. It came for them. He talked about it as if it was a living thing. I wonder. It makes me wonder if something similar is in play here.
But frankly, given what we suspect is involved, it would not surprise me if it was the big dragon again.
I think it was 1921, but
there's no date
I
on it.
deleted the comment because I was trying to spring clean a bit.
Yeah, but it was not so much the date as much as he described it as he talked to us in the asylum. He described it as almost a living thing, which makes me wonder when people are talking about a superstition of a fiery demon, if there's some connection, albeit tenuous at the moment. But like Françoise says, like, at this point, I am open to the possibility of it being a fucking big dragon.
Okay, so about 20 minutes later, Salim comes back to you and says, I think I may have found where your friend is. He is now on the street of Potters, not too far from here. But that man over there tells me that you may need to prepare yourself for what you see. He has been very badly burned, and you can see his face and big scar.
As have I. And I hold up my hands.
He sort of does a little sign to Allah. How on earth did that happen?
Well,
Were you burnt also?
Yes, of course. How else could that happen? My hands are black. I am not, in case you have not noticed.
I am well aware.
I didn't realise he was in the shop when it caught fire.
Yes, he was.
Which is something else he has in common with Tilesman. Tilesman was in the home at the time when his supposed living fire
Well,
hit.
He should be able to tell us what caused it then, shouldn't he?
Yeah. Well, his version of events.
Let's hope that he will not refrain the same sentence over and over again, and that some light is left in him in order to understand what happened.
I am happy to translate if there is any barriers.
That would be
Thank you
most
very much.
useful. Thank you.
He speaks English.
Mm.
Well, he writes in English. I assume he speaks it. Oh, no, that was Warren.
No, that's by
I'm sorry.
a French dude.
Someone else wrote.
Ignore everything I've just said, for I did not say it really.
It was my player, not actually me.
What I was going to say in response is if he may very well have a grasp of English, but if he becomes quite agitated and emotional, he may revert to his first language rather than his
Who
second.
cares until it happens? Let us go.
Okay, so you head on over to the Street of Potters. It's a few streets away. It takes another 15 minutes or so to get there. Plenty of pottery shops here, as you can probably imagine, given the name of this street. But there's a door and a rather nice window to this shop where he's set himself up again. Clearly marked Faraz Najjar, also Curios in English, and Magasin des Antiquités in French. There's various sort of stories above the shop as well, so you think maybe it's a bit of a busier area. Quite quiet though, and you actually notice as you get close that somebody you presume to be him actually comes out of the shop, gets out a bunch of keys, and starts locking up.
Mr. Najjar?
So this man, he's quite sort of heavily built, he's got a big turban on as well. He kind of turns towards you, and you can't help but notice his face. It is very heavily scarred on one side to the point where it looks like he's been blinded in one eye. And he looks at you and he says in quite sort of basic English, I go soon to prayer. I close now. You come back tomorrow, yes?
Our business will take but a moment.
No, if he's going to pray, he is going to pray. You do not interrupt the person's relationship with his God.
I am so glad that you have instructed me about a person's relationship to God.
No, not to God, but to their God. It is a different concept.
He sort of looks back down the street and thinks for a minute and says, business? You want to talk business?
Yes.
Of a fashion.
Some sort, yes.
I have few minutes.
It is about a letter. You know Mr. Bassad, who wrote to Mr. Carlyle on your behalf?
He immediately stiffens up at the mention of Mr. Bassal. How do you know of that man?
I know very little of him, but I know he wrote a letter to Mr. Carlyle about some objects of curiosity. It is my understanding that Mr. Carlyle may have been involved in some kind of cult.
You speak of Carlyle? Who are you? Where have you come from? He's kind of pressing his back up towards the door.
Please come. Please.
And then he kind of almost tries to push you out of the way as if he's going to not run, but kind of try and get away from you.
I mean no offense, only I am trying to help his sister understand her brother's death.
Okay, can you make me, and this can be anyone, can you make me either a charm, fast talk, or persuade roll?
I don't recall if in Call of Cthulhu there is like an aid option
I passed.
on roll.
I passed a charm roll.
Doesn't matter. Next time.
Well, when you say aid, I mean there's first aid.
No, I mean like in D&D that you can aid someone to do better.
Oh, to help. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, you can, definitely. Yeah, you can get a bonus die if you're kind of assisting somebody.
I'll try to convey the same thing that Françoise was telling him, but in basic Arabic, since I speak.
Cool, yeah.
So-
Yeah, do you want to roll another D100 then, Françoise? To do a bonus.
It didn't help, unfortunately. He understood the English just fine, but I still passed.
Okay.
As did Ronnie.
Yeah, he's not really convinced except for what you said about his sister. So he kind of stops again a little bit and says, I do not want anything to do with the Carlyles anymore. They have cursed my face, my shop. I am trying to rebuild, rekindle.
Please, Mr. Najjar, please.
And we are hunting Carlyle.
We do sympathize with you completely. Our intention is not to cause you any more pain or discomfort. We believe what happened to you may give us answers to questions from elsewhere. We are piecing together a very large puzzle.
I will take my gloves off and say, it got me too. I am seeking revenge.
That could help.
Okay. Yeah, his eyes, they were kind of bulging a bit, but especially when, like, with Winston calming him down and sort of pacifying and Françoise with the hand, he does flinch back a little bit, but he definitely sees eye to eye or hand to hand, shall we say. He again looks down the street and says, "It is not safe to talk here. We should go. Come this way."
We follow.
So,
is he okay with our guide coming with us, or he ain't worried about us having a guide with us?
yeah, he doesn't seem to have reacted badly to him or anything.
How would he even know that he's our guide unless they've met before, which they hadn't?
Well, you see Salim kind of thank him in Arabic, and something else.
More of a local than we are.
Pranit, you get the impression that, Salim's kind of trying to be diplomatic and say that you're fine and you're not malicious or evil or whatever, but he's still a little bit suspect, you think, about Françoise's hands. But anyway, so he takes you fairly quickly. You're not sure if maybe it's because he's running late or just because he doesn't feel safe, to this sort of almost like a hospital of sorts. Actually, no, it's not a hospital. What am I talking about? No, ignore me. No, it's a mosque, but it's like a private room. He asks for some mint tea, and he does get some in for the rest of you as well if you want to partake.
Yeah.
He kind of, when he talks to you, first he sort of does some calm breaths and so on, and it is quiet in here. It's very sort of tranquil, and in particular, I guess, Winston, being religious yourself, whilst it's not obviously a Christian place, you definitely feel a sense of calm and safety here. When he talks to you, he kind of interjects a bit in English and then a bit in Arabic. He's obviously uneasy about things, but he first says, I am sorry. I feel safer on the ground blessed by Allah, not in the streets anymore.
That is entirely understandable. Mr. Najjar, we have in our way looked upon the manifestation of evil. According to the neighbors, the people in the Street of Jackals, they seem to indicate that you have likewise. Could you tell us, please?
Yes. You speak of this Monsieur Bassart. I was tasked by him and his colleague, Mr. Carlyle, to obtain artifacts for them. I brought them several items from a man, Mr. Al-Shakti, Omar Al-Shakti. I was worried about what that would mean for me if he found out, but I was blind to what powers truly befell this man or whatever he is in cohorts with. I stole the artifacts. I passed them to Mr. Bassart, and then soon after, my shop burst into flames whilst I was inside. Fortunately, I did manage to escape. Just
tell me about someone we had spoke to before had a similar experience with a fire in their home. Sadly, he too survived. However, the rest of his family perished. He talked about the fire as a living thing Is that an experience you can understand?
Well, it is certainly not an oil lamp, as the papers love to say. I do not know. It could not have been anything like that, or even something outside. There was no one outside nearby when I got out. I was in my shop. I did not hear anything. And suddenly, everything caught alight, me included. I rushed out. I was in so much pain. I could not think to save anything. And when I got out, the whole house, the whole shop, orange, bright flame, but nothing around it. Nothing caught light. People came to help. They tried water, but it was not helping at all. Not until everything had burned away, and then it finally disappeared.
So, if I understand you right, and please do correct my assumption if I am mistaken, the fire did not start in one point and spread, it just all appeared.
Yes, all as one light, perhaps. But like I said, I was inside. I did not see it come. It was I had no chance to see.
I understand. This Mr. Al-Shakti, the very you even mentioning his name caused your voice to tremble.
Yes.
We have heard that he is his public face is one of a somewhat ruthless businessman. I get the impression that you consider that you know another side of him, perhaps even darker.
You see him kind of clutch a load of, you think, maybe charms around his neck as he says this.
I place my hand, I place my open hand on his and say, you are safe within these holy walls.
Yes.
Nothing you say will be repeated beyond us here. And should we act upon information, nothing will come back to you. You have my word.
Allah protects me. Can you... He is going to sort of say some stuff, but yeah, can you make me a psychology roll?
Good. Not even close.
I passed.
Yeah, so what he says is this next bit, you definitely think he is genuinely scared of Al-Shakti. But he says, when Mr. Bassart approached me, the artifacts, they were wayward in nature, but it was not until later when I realized just how much Al-Shakti treasured these items that I stole from him. I found out that he is definitely linked to this group, this cult. I believe. Yes. I believe he may even be a high priest. He is definitely an important man.
Yes, this is all things that we kind of knew to begin with. But I'm curious, though, if there was anything other than this bust. You say artifacts.
Yes.
What else other than the wooden bust thing was there?
How do you know about the bust?
We have already stolen it back from the person it ended up with.
Even in here, there may be people listening. You don't have it with you, do you?
Not on me now, no.
Yes, there was a wooden ebony bust of the Black Pharaoh, and he kind of holds his hand out in size, and yes, it does sound like the one. There was also a few more items. A strange circlet, like a crown of sorts. I don't know what it is. I think it may be
With
something.
eyes?
No eyes. Simple gold. Maybe Black Pharaohs. I do not know. A small drum, very powerful. Although I did not try and release its power. There was also a scroll talking about a hidden entrance to a pyramid. I believe they think that is where the Black Pharaoh dwells.
Ah. We may have destroyed that by accident.
What do you mean?
There was a fire. Was there anything else?
No, not that I gave away to Mr. Bastard, but I have also heard that as well as these items, I believe that the Brotherhood are after something else as well. Something guarded by men at another mosque. I don't know exactly what it is or why he needs it. I believe it is a bit like this crown or circlet, but a little different. Perhaps a necklace of some sort. I know where it is, though.
We need to know. We need to put it beyond the reach.
It is the mosque of Ibn Tulun, south of here. It is well guarded. You would need to speak with those inside. They will not simply give it away to you.
Oh, of course. But the problem with something where the location is known is that anything that is guarding it is also a known quantity. And I'm sure the Black Pharaoh's cultists will know what they are doing. So we must remove the known quantities from the equation somehow.
Is there anyone here that you trust? Absolutely. Without question or reservation.
Before we get to that, I have one more question also, which is, do you know where this Warren Bassett is now?
Not exactly. He may well still be here. I do not know exactly what he did with Mr. Carlyle, but having those items in his possession, it is very dangerous. I do not know if Al-Shakti punished him too. But you may get luck with, and he kind of gestures to those of you who are white, more of your type. They may know where he is, given he is French.
These items you acquired for Carlisle, are there any more where they came from? Could you acquire more?
I am not acquiring anything like that.
Given
If
what
our
happened
Shakti-
last time, I think he has retired, Barry.
Yeah, I'm just. If we want to remove as many of these items as possible from Al Shakti's grip, if you can get hold of some for us.
Answers the question. Answers the question.
I think he has. I look to Perry. I think this man has paid his due. We can ask no more of him.
Hello. Have you
I
been
am
scarred also?
Thank you.
And he looks at you, Perry, and asks that, like
Sorry,
your
what-
friend.
In the chest and in the brain.
Sorry, I missed what you said there. Have I been?
Scarred, like your friend.
Yes. And I'll just open my shirt a little bit and just show them a bit of my
Then
chest.
you know how it feels.
Certainly. Wouldn't ever let them get away with it. We must have our revenge on them. It's only justice.
And to stop them from doing it to more people.
Yes.
I would ask a favor of you, Mr. Najar. It is well within your ability, and it would not place you in danger. You must send a message to this mosque for them to double their guard as quietly as possible around these artifacts that they guard. Tell them that you have reason to believe that those artifacts are in danger of being taken.
Great, so just as we turn up, you want them to double the guard. Great.
Yes. I was going to say that.
Well, I'm hoping that also will
We have to remove the known quantities and make them unknown again. You see, this mosque guards this knife, but the Black Pharaoh knows that, so they know what is defending it. So they will factor that into the acquisition. And you have seen in Harlem, if I remind you, Winston, how they can overwhelm defenses.
Yes, I'm aware.
So what good will it do other than make it harder for us to do what we need to do, which is
My
to
fear, Françoise, is a simple one.
Yes, I know you're very simple, but that is not what we are talking about here.
Just pass the guy back to the fields. My problem, my worry, my fear is that these items that this mosque guards are in fact very well guarded, extremely well guarded. So well guarded, in fact, that the only chance this cult has of obtaining them is if we try to move them.
That might well be the case, but first we have to understand what it is and then make our value judgments. It might also be there is another way to destroy the cult before they can get to do it, but we will have to deal with that as we learn more.
What I'm thinking is he stole a load of stuff for Carlisle and somehow this got to Gavigan. Where are all the other items?
Yes, well, Gavigan, don't forget, was the expedition leader, the financier of the Carlisle expedition, or was involved because they went for Carlisle went for training with the Gavigan woman. So,
yeah, although just to clarify, while Gavigan kind of he funds all the expeditions now, you think maybe Sir Aubrey also would have
sorry,
been
it's the predecessor to Gavigan. So you know, the connection was already there. Also, I strongly suspect Carlisle himself was the cultist with the Harlem crowd, and so he is likely, as they've said before, you believe he is still alive and active in the cult, and that this is all to do with the awakening of the Black Pharaoh.
The more this goes on, the more I'm beginning to suspect that Carlisle is actually alive. That scroll.
We probably burnt it in the fire at Savannah.
No, if he's right about the scroll being about a secret passage into a pyramid, maybe that's how they got that sarcophagus out.
Ah.
He looks a little inquisitive at that and says, What sarcophagus?
At Giza, there was
I
the
know which.
sarcophagus of a queen, and it
I know.
vanished. Now, if the subject of the scroll was that pyramid, then that may answer the question as to how that sarcophagus was taken without going through the main exit.
I know of this
If
sarcophagus. I do not know which pyramid the scroll was for, and I do not know where it is now. But you
Yeah.
say the bust went to Gavigan, this Englishman.
Yes.
Maybe Bastard knows what's happened to the other items. If they still exist, if they're not been destroyed.
Gavigan was in talks with Al Shakti. We need to return some items as well.
yeah,
Yeah, the letter was from Omar al-Shakti requesting the return of the bust, and there's also this red diary that went to al-Shakti at some point.
yeah,
Also reading the letter again.
yeah. I
Sounds like
Just-
a slight
as I
threat.
say, the two things may be unconnected, but suddenly hearing about a scroll that talks about a secret passage into a pyramid and the knowledge that there was a theft right from under the noses of someone, the two might connect. Maybe. My only good thought of the day.
Thank you for sharing it with us.
What can I say? I'm a giver.
I fear that they will come looking for you, especially now you've told me about the bust. If they find out that you have it, you will end up like me.
It has already happened, I say, gesturing with my hand.
We've been through fire and flame and fang and claw, and we're still here.
They've already tried, but they've not got rid of us yet.
Then Allah has truly blessed you all, my friends.
I lock eyes with them and say, the Almighty knows who does his good works.
Have a
Oh my
bonus
God!
die,
Please
Winston.
don't.
I get a bonus die back for that. Great.
Yes.
Haven't had one for a couple of sessions. Yay! I've got one that I can keep.
I don't get one because my accent's shit.
Well, right. See, here's the thing. If we're going to talk about shit accents, I can't really. I would have to actually say that mine is worse than yours, because at least you're trying to sound French. I'm not even trying to sound American.
I'm not trying to sound French. I'm trying to sound like a French person who grew up in Peru.
Very
This is
specific.
the distinction. This is where like people say my French accent's bad. I'm not doing French, you see. It's more
Not
complex
Parisian
than
French,
that.
anyway.
It's Franglais.
Yeah,
No,
it sounds like
it's-
shit because it has a lot of contaminations.
Exactly. You've got all these
Yeah.
influences, like she speaks Spanish as a second language, and that Peruvian influence
Yeah.
onto her French. You know, and yet a lot of the time she'd have been
Makes
speaking in
perfect
English, which
sense.
is a third language. It
Perfect
can't
sense.
be. Yeah. If I did a Parisian accent, I'd be doing it wrong.
You start hearing the sound of movement outside the room, and you notice that Faraz kind of looks up a bit and says, I believe afternoon prayers is to start very soon.
It is not a place for us to be at this time. I thank you for
We will
everything
leave-
you have
we
taught
will
us.
leave you to make your prayers.
Do you still wish me to send this message
Message.
to the mosque about the guards?
I would have the message amended. I take on what my esteemed colleague has said. Inform them, but ask them to hold, with their good grace and leave, we would wish to speak with them.
Stop being so damn flowery. God damn it, Winston.
Yeah, he's a little kind of confused, and you hear Salim trying to translate.
Well, I didn't want to say, right, we want to
What message do you want to send to the mosque?
Just
We've
tell me-
come and lay out the welcome.
Do you think he's high up in a mosque he does not attend? He comes to this one. We'll just
Yes.
go to the mosque and get the lay of the land ourselves.
Very well.
I
I
how
just
you
thought a
say,
referral would help.
I am grateful. I prefer familiar territory. It is safer that way.
Very well.
And be very careful. Our Shakti is very powerful. He has lots of influence.
Yes. He hasn't met my billiard table yet.
And at that, he kind of, without really much else more than a nod, he just kind of, shows himself out. As you hear the sound of the call to prayer,
Yeah.
really quite loud from outside.
At this point, I'm trying very quickly get ourselves away from the door because I've got a feeling that people are going to start not so much
Yeah.
piling in, but they're just going to.
Yeah, they literally en masse sort of start turning up.
Well, we have to get our
kind of-
shoes on first.
Indeed, I was just about to say, yeah, they're all taking theirs off. You need to find yours and put them back on. Françoise, you get a few looks from people as well as they come in.
But somebody has to clean the place.
Okay,
I just
presumably
realised you walked in there with a head covering.
well, yeah, that too, but also the fact that you're white and you're in the same sort of mosque. It's interesting because I don't know about this one specifically. A lot of mosques are men only, and the women pray at home. In other ones, there's like a barrier, so the women kind of go in the outer area and the men go in the inner area, something like that. But yeah, presumably you take your leave and you head back outside, do you?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, it's a massive din, kind of in a slightly tranquil, melodic way, but also very, very loud. Lots of people now. It's very crowded as they try and kind of get into the mosque.
Well, that's no point in going to the other mosque now.
No,
So
we're
we
going to go
should-
for a break.
Well, I was going to say,
do
like,
it now when we can, have a little break. Get a
yeah. Now's a good time to go for a break. But would you plan to head straight back to your hotel or somewhere else by this
I
point?
think the hotel now because it's getting old
Yeah.
a bit, isn't it?
Okay, cool. Yeah, that makes.
Yeah, we
that's
could.
perfect,
Maybe
actually.
we can think about
Yeah,
we could
business is
even
closed.
ask.
something or
We
Yeah.
could even ask the dragoman to lead us to buy the car, because we were told we could acquire one on the other side of the river.
And we're
We
halfway
might as
there.
well do
Um,
it.
well,
No,
I
other
want to
direction.
hold off because the consulate, the guy at the consulate did say that he would sort of point us in the direction of people they consider to be reputable.
We
I think
also
they gave you a business card.
Oh, so he did, yeah.
we need to have a discussion as a group about how we're going to approach this Omar Al Shakti guy and what the right tact is. But let's talk about that after a break.
Okay.
See you in a bit.
So, the plot thickens.
Once again.
Yes. Yeah, I had another read through of Egypt over the weekend, and it makes a lot more sense now. It's a bit of a big chomp at the start, like to digest and things. One in particular, you know, how I was complaining about the handouts. There's this literally there's a thing, and it's like, it's not a handout. Why is it not a handout? There's an image for it, but it's not a handout. Why? It's so important. It's like one of the most important things in the whole campaign.
I think that that would go under the auspices of feedback to the writers of the campaign setting. Love it, but why is this on page such and such not a handout?
I'll tell you what it is if and when you get it. But yeah, it's definitely been a harder chapter to digest, I think.
It was certainly a harder one to do the recap for. I watched last week's episode this afternoon. The episode runs for 2 hours and 45 minutes. It took me 4 hours to get through it because I had to keep stopping, pausing, rewinding, and pausing, and trying to get all the bits of information.
Yeah.
Is that because my voice is so obscured by my accent?
No, it's just so much info coming out. I can't write that fast. I was having to pause and back up just in case I'd missed something.
Yeah, I didn't quite realize how much of an info dump that session would be, whereas I was very much aware with like America, for example, of, oh my god, I need to, like, you know, break it down into chunks, whereas this is like, okay, there's some stuff, and it's like, okay, yeah, I can kind of tell them and relay it to them, but I didn't think like it's going to be an info dump because it's not really presented that way. I guess it's just
it was one of those major bits of sort of info that was needed. It was. I admit to being a slow writer, so you know it was just a case of pausing, just going, right, did I miss anything? So it took me a little longer, and it wasn't actually. It was that one bit at the end. It was the bit inside the newspaper office.
Mm-hmm.
That was the major bit. The rest of it was fairly inconsequential. That was the major thing.
Yeah, and again, there's no visual aids either for that. So I've just put up a load of sticky notes and tried to separate out bits of information to help. Because I could go away and make a photo, but that'll take some time.
I got to 6 o'clock. We got to 6 o'clock this evening. I thought, Jesus, I started this at about freaking 2 o'clock.
Okay, well, while Salim Aziz is still with us, I want to make sure that I say to the others in the group, well, he was easily manipulated, because I want to make sure that if Salim is actually an informant for the Black Pharaoh, that he doesn't go, oh, by the way, oh God, what was it, Omar, whatever.
Al-Shakti, yeah.
Al-Shakti. By the way, these people are hunting you. So I want to make sure we've got our bases covered.
Okay.
So, yeah, I kind of make that point and give a knowing wink to my comrades. And then we'll have our conversation about how we're going to approach that once we're free of him.
Are you intending to watch for his reaction when you say that?
Yes.
Make me a psychology roll then.
Oh, wow. Extreme.
Okay. Yeah, he noticeably frowns at that, but in a way of kind of, why would you want to manipulate him? That seems quite rude, and what is your true nature? He seems genuine. He doesn't seem to kind of pick up on that as if he's, you know, involved with the cult.
Which
Meanwhile,
is good.
Trustworthy.
But
meanwhile, the three of us would like to make psychology rolls because we want to know why the hell Françoise winked at us because we're not used to
Don't
we're,
worry.
it's suddenly we've got Françoise going,
so I write it on the back of my hand. No.
The chicken. Sorry, the chicken. It goes over the cups. But yes. Anyway, so whilst you're having that conversation, as it were, and also while you're in the back at the hotel, one of the concierges approaches you and says, "Sorry for interrupting. You got a phone call about 10 minutes ago from Mr. Wasif. He said to tell you that he has seen the man that you need to speak to quite close by."
God, remind me. He's the guy at the newspaper, right?
The
that I
newspaper,
yeah,
yeah.
he's the reporter.
What was the guy we wanted to speak to? He was the guy that got fired, wasn't it? The van.
The Dutch guy.
Overland.
Yes. He
Ah.
passed his luck roll.
May have to deal with that before we have a conversation about how to handle the other problem. Excuse me. If anyone's coming, come along. If not, bye.
Yeah, I'm going.
I'll head straight out the door because it's next door, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah. It's a couple of houses away or buildings away.
I
But yeah.
am going. I am going to take a leaf out of the book of the city that I'm in. I'm going to go back to my room. I'm going to get on my knees and I'm going to pray.
Or,
Not for comedic value or anything else. I'm just going to sort of bow my head and offer.
He just wants to pray for the poor soul who's devoting himself to the wrong god.
or not the bonus die either. You've already
No,
got
the
one.
correct God, but the wrong interpretation.
We shall see.
I am praying for guidance because the further we go on, the messier and darker this whole thing is becoming. I want to say that this is there's a part of me that wants to think that this is a straight up sort of conflict between good and evil, but humanity makes that black and white so much more grey, and that worries me.
Indeed, man is the real monster. Perry, are you going with the others?
To many of my horror games.
Okay, yep. So you're heading up to your room, refresh yourself, pray, etc. The other three, yeah, you quickly nip to the Cairo bulletin. Lights are still on.
Let inside.
Yeah, I knock on the door beforehand.
Yeah, so you see Nigel. Oh, you almost made me jump. I wasn't expecting anybody so late. Although I assume you're here about the call.
Indeed.
Yes.
Yeah, of course we are.
I was very surprised. I normally do not see people like him, shall we say, so close by. But yes, he was wandering around, and he kind of gestures down. Again, you think to the east, but a few streets nowhere near where you've been. So I guess more north of where you were earlier this afternoon.
Do we know what he looks like?
No, but he does sort of give you a general description. White, naturally, because he's Dutch. Small little glasses, quite sort of neat looking. Beard, like sort of ragged beard, a bit on the plump side.
What color clothes was he wearing?
He sort of laughs a bit and says they were more like rags than clothes. But yes, sort of. Well, they were very dirty clothes. Waistcoat, I think. Loose trousers, ill-fitting.
Okay. A color?
Green, I think. Sort of very pale green. Hello, Fuke.
Hello, Fajouk.
Hello.
Now that I know how to say it,
Oh, yes, Fajouk, yes.
Fajouk.
Yes, hello, Fajouk.
Okay, so immediately head out in that direction. Merci, au revoir.
Au revoir to you too. Be careful, lots of pickpocketers.
It's okay, I'm broke.
Yeah, so you rush down, and yeah, it seems like there's a bit of a mix of clientele here. It's still sort of, you think, getting to the end of prayers, so there's not that many Egyptians around here, but you do see a few kind of poorer white people. You hear the sound of kind of commotion as well coming from this rather dingy looking bar. Egyptian bar, but still you kind of hear sort of a bit of activity going on in there.
Get one of the guys to stick their head in the door, see if Van Hoevelen is in there.
So yeah, you stick your head in, and yeah, there does seem to be somebody who is kind of sitting alone, sort of what's the word, like thighs kind of spread a little bit, and he's got a bottle of sorts.
Oh my God, this man's spreading.
Yes, he's manspreading. That's what I was looking for.
Yes. Okay, well, I should go in and approach him, and I should say, Monsieur Van Hoevelen.
Okay. I think Kitty wants to talk to him as well. Where is he on here? Oh, don't tell me that I've forgotten to put him in. No, I haven't. Fantastic. There we go. Okay. I keep forgetting where everything is on here. I don't know why. I do it every week. Okay, so he's kind of been busy trying to click at somebody to presumably get another drink in, and he doesn't really notice you to start with.
Okay, hands down on the table, lean over him, and Mr. Van Hoevelen.
Oh, hello. I have not really seen you here before.
Your fortunes have changed.
I'm sorry?
I said your fortunes have changed.
Are we talking just right now, or the ones where they've changed already?
They are changing again.
He looks really worried.
You are about to begin your luck. You are currently destitute and homeless, and now you are about to not be that.
Oh! No, it's fine. I know about that already. It's all in hand.
It is?
Sorry, are you with the expedition? Are you new?
There's so many expeditions. Who knows? Tell me about your change of fortunes.
Well,
and I'll say that.
you either are or you aren't.
Well, maybe
but
the information is out of date. What do you know already?
I think it may be, yes. And he looks quite smug. But whoever you are you French, aren't you? Nice company. Maybe that is my luck that has changed. Are you buying by any chance? And he makes a point of like, oh no, poor me, no money, sort of,
I thought you said your fortunes had changed.
Working on the money part. The rest, though, yes, fortunes, yes, are changing. I am.
C'est bon.
Are you gonna buy him anything? Or,
Yeah, I'll get
yes,
a
I
drink
am.
for him.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Pranit will.
Well, I was gonna say, Pranit and Perry, are you coming in as well? And
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
oh,
Yeah.
hello. And he looks back at you, Françoise. Are these your bodyguards? They look a bit
It
miserable.
is your very lucky day.
Did you just say we look miserable, Perry?
I don't know what he means. Miserable.
Well, you just sort of came in together. Are you trying to sell me something? I am a
No.
bit confused.
No, I aim to solve the money part of your problem.
Oh, you don't need to. It's all in hand, like I said. But
Then tell me more about how it is in hand.
all right, okay. Yes. So, you get him something quite strong. And yeah, if you make me a charm roll, but you can definitely get a bonus for the drink.
Oh, bonus didn't help again, but the charm roll was very good. It was extreme. I can be
Okay.
quite charming when I am not insulting my comrades.
Who would have thought?
You certainly are. Yes. So I my name is Jan Willem van Hoevelen. I worked for the Clive expedition. I say worked because I was unfortunately laid off, and for a while I had no idea what to do. I had very little money. I still have very little money, although I'm trying to do little bits here and there. But I had obviously struck a chord with the expedition, and one of them in particular, Martin, he knew of a secret in Cairo, which I managed to go and take a look at, and well, it was a little shrine, I believe, for the goddess Bast. And he kind of starts to explain, like, the goddess of cats, as if you have no idea who that is and things like that. It didn't seem like much, but I found these scrolls, and I am busy translating them. And once I have translated them, it will make me rich.
Is one of them about the hidden entrance to a pyramid by chance?
No, why?
Oh, different scroll is all. I was curious. So,
Make me a psychology roll.
bugger. That'd be a no. But
The other
Perry and
two,
Pranit are both here.
yeah, you can make them if you want, yeah.
I got the base 10 though.
That's miserable.
Not even close.
Okay. Yeah, you're not sure, like, maybe he knows something about that? You don't know.
Why would you let go from the Clive expedition, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, expenses, I guess. They tried to, they wanted to cut down expenses a little. It's just a shame they picked me.
Nothing to do with the sarcophagus going missing, no?
Oh, you've heard about that? No, I had nothing to do with it. How could
No,
I?
no.
He kind of looks at himself.
And then I jokingly say, because you've only just discovered the scrolls such as details of the hidden entrance to the tomb.
No, the scroll has nothing to do with some hidden entrance. Although it is interesting you say that. Have you spoken to Mr. Gardner?
No, I do not know the man.
Interesting. Maybe a coincidence. It's
So
funny.
it was Gardner who got the sarcophagus out of the hidden entrance, was it?
No. He has a theory, which I think is kind of weird, but he thinks that there is some sort of hidden tunnels under Giza. Okay. But when I was there anyway, we didn't find anything like that.
Okay,
I-
so now
I
I know
find him-
who has the sarcophagus. So,
What? I suppose you've read the papers, haven't you, about the sarcophagus? The
not
police
only
have.
left and right.
Okay,
Any-
fine. Well, there was a sarcophagus with a mummy which we found. Took us a long time to reach it. It was in a secret chamber, but we found it. But when it disappeared, the police have combed everywhere. They've not found any evidence of it being moved anywhere. So, I don't know. But the others are at Memphis now anyway.
Somebody-
Saqqara and the city and things.
Whose tomb was it that you were excavating? Any of those cartouche things? Spain.
No, sorry, that's reminded me of the mummy, the cartouche. We're not all, or we weren't all in agreement as to whose body it was. Again, Gardner had his theories. It could be this Nito Crease, Queen Nito Crease, as did Miss Broadmoor, although she's also a little far-fetched in her theories. She actually, I don't know why they hired her in the end, but she says she has a thing with she knows about dead people and things. I don't know if she does any palm readings or something.
And they kept her but laid you off.
I
What
know,
was your
right?
role
I
in the
know.
expedition? What was your role in the expedition before you got laid off? It is.
I kind of worked a lot with Johanna Specht. We both translated a lot of the hieroglyphs we came across. I am pleased they kept her on board. She is a very good Egyptologist, linguist, whatever, with hieroglyphs. I've not really seen anyone like that who can translate as well as her.
Is one person better who's just joined the country, and I'm going to get one of Winston's cards, the one he would have given me, and it'd be old and battered by now. And I'll say, this man is currently staying at the what's the hotel we're at?
Shepherd.
Shepherds.
Shepherd Hotel. Is
Oh.
the best in the country. If you get stuck on your scroll, you should take it past him.
Oh, well, thank you. Although I'm doing just fine. I'm doing just fine. Nearly there, actually. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, to do it in a week, or finish in a week.
Oh, takes you
Are
that long.
those,
Should see
are those
Winston.
scrolls related to the cult of Bast by any chance?
As the what? Sorry, related to the scrolls.
The scrolls, yeah, sorry.
Yes. I'm just trying to remember actually what they were exactly.
Just out of curiosity, I don't want to pick my nose in your work.
Well, you'll know about it sooner or later.
Yeah, sure.
So. Oh, right, okay. What? They're not to do with the tunnels or anything, but I'm just trying to find where it exactly says what they say. I think it's prayers or something like that. Oh, here we go, right in front of me. Yes, they are called the Black Rites of Louve Keraf.
Can you write that in the chat by any chance?
Yes, I can. He's a geezer with a theory about Giza. Louve Keraf. Too many consonants in ancient Egyptian. Okay.
Cheers, mate.
So, I believe these scrolls, well, the originals anyway, they are at least 13th dynasty, if not earlier. So very, very valuable. It's setting forth Egyptian rituals of sorts, but yes, it is to do with Bast.
And the Black Pharaoh.
Oh God, not you as well. You don't believe in him, do you?
No, I do not believe in him, but I am aware that there are those who do. They are the ones who stole your money.
Right, okay. I'm sure Mr. Gardner and Miss Broadmoor would love to talk to you.
I doubt it very much. They would probably love to torture me to death, so.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah,
they
no-
seem nice enough. The scrolls are not to do with the Black Pharaoh at all. When I say rituals, not occultish rituals, things like what they used to do in the Temple of Bast, even a little bit, mummifying, things like that, but not your scary, ghosts and ghouls and all that. None of that rubbish.
I beg your pardon, Mr. No way I can pronounce that. Van Uvelin.
Van Hoevelen.
Uvelin.
I hope that's how you pronounce it anyway.
I'm more of a pragmatic person, if you may, but I find it hard to believe that an international expedition coming all the way to Giza and Memphis sacked you, who are apparently
Again, I know, right?
I do think that there's something underlying the whole thing. Maybe you picked your nose where you hadn't to.
He is not a cultist, so the cultists got rid of him.
You can make me the psychology roll if you want.
Still with the base thing, I don't know where I'm going. Even further than before.
Like I said, yeah, I still think they are good people, but it is a shame. I was just getting going with the translations there, but thankfully Martin was obviously onto something, and now I have the scrolls, and that will give me my ticket back to the Netherlands and give me lots of money. I'm hoping.
Hopefully.
And this Martin put you onto these scrolls. He didn't go after them himself at all.
No. Although he's a busy man himself, he's out with the rest of them in Memphis. He's one of the main archaeologists with Dr. Clive. It
And
was
this-
a nice gesture, I guess.
This queen, this mummy they found, discovered. It's someone important. Who is she? Queen to?
I don't really know actually. Not much is known about her, and like I said, we don't even know for certain if she really was Queen Nitocris. It's a new find. It's a secret chamber as well, so it was never looked at before us. We were the first to find it. It's just a shame that it's now gone, whether by these people you speak of or it's somewhere else. Maybe it's sank into the sand. Who knows? At that, you suddenly notice he picks up like a rusty spoon that's just sitting on the table, and he quite angrily throws it past you. And you hear the sound of a screeching cat flee outside the bar, like back into the street.
So you are not a fan of Bast.
Well, Bast was just a goddess. She's not real, but these bloody cats, I don't know what it is. They keep following me, or sitting near me and looking all horrible at me. It's
Yes. because you have misunderstood scrolls. You
No,
need to-
no, I haven't. I haven't got them with me, but I can show you. Look, it's all manuscripts about worshipping her and
It's the goddess of cats, yes. So you should
yes.
talk to Winston. He will be able to read the scrolls and understand it in ways that are beyond the comprehension of people like me.
Does he speak Dutch?
No, but he speaks Egyptian. There's the hieroglyphs.
And the tables have turned.
Finally, with revenge.
The revenge was long coming.
Well,
I was sitting there going, I'm just waiting for the penny to drop.
I don't.
And I'm like, yes, just
He's by far,
touche.
he's by far, can't keep a straight face anymore. He's by far the best in Egypt right now at reading hieroglyphs. He can read in layers that you cannot even imagine was there. Meaning and the alternative meaning.
It would be interesting to speak to this man you speak so highly of, but why is he not here with you?
I did not know I would be having a conversation with somebody who just found scrolls that need translating and are taking him an entire week to translate.
But you said that my fortunes had changed.
Yes, but then again, you said you've already changed them, so I do not feel the need to offer you the opportunity I was going to. Instead, I can help you in another way, which is to put you in contact with the Mr. Greene.
I may be a drunk, but I'm not stupid, miss. You obviously knew something about me before coming in. How would you know to come to my table?
Not up to date.
So who do you work for then? If not the Clive expedition,
Look,
do you work for...
not those cultists.
I suppose I should say I'm pleased to hear.
So you should be.
There are good people on that expedition, and there are some bad eggs. There's the one behind your sarcophagus going missing.
Yeah.
But I think I have learned all that I came here to learn. So thank you very much, Mr. Van Hoevelen, and I hope you have good luck with your scrolls. And as I say, if you want a second opinion or help, that is the man to talk to. He is a top expert.
He's sort of swaying a little bit, and he downs the rest of his drink and kind of staggers up to his feet. As
Do
he does
you
so,
have a card?
oh, somewhere, not on me. No, I might have some left at my house. Maybe a spot hidden room. As he kind of gets up and he's sort of.
All of us.
Yeah, all of you can.
Well, I passed.
Oh, excellent. Hard pass. Finally,
Oh, yeah.
some success. Already ticked that. Fuck it.
What was yours, Perry?
I failed.
You felt. Yeah, Pranit, you notice as he's kind of rummaging around, he's got scratches all over his hands. Some of them fresher than others.
It's from the cats.
I guess the cats are aggressive, aren't they?
I don't know what it is. Maybe it's my odor or something. But yeah, you see, they don't go to anybody else. And he gestures around the bar, and yeah, you can't see any more cats. He actually he just sort of turns his head a little bit, and then you think you see something in his peripheral vision, and there is a cat just sort of perched on the window behind him, and he almost like falls over in surprise. Oh, for God's sake, those things, they never leave me alone.
It's because you are reading the scrolls of the goddess of cats.
What, so you believe that she exists? She was an ancient goddess.
Yes, and she did exist. You have been to a temple?
Yeah, people
The fact
believe
that-
that she existed.
And as they understood cats better than anyone, do you not think that they would understand that cats have good olfactory organ? So the things in that tomb that attract cats, and you have been in there, and now you have that scent all over you, and now the cats follow you. It is not hard to work out.
Something tells me you have a lot of cats at home too, huh?
No, you just need
What
to
I
wait.
You're some crazy cat lady, aren't you?
Just basic cause effect. When did the cats start to show up? Before or after you visited the shrine? Think
I
about it.
don't know.
You know it. Be honest to yourself.
You never really noticed them beforehand, did you?
So you need to bathe to get the odor off you.
You said it. You're not a drunk. You're a drunk. You're not stupid. Think about it.
I suppose that, yeah, okay, there have been more cats following me since I started translating. I don't know if it's exactly when I went to the temple or not. Seems a bit of too much of a coincidence to me. Like there's some
The logical
weird
explanation is there were scents and odors in the temple that are now on you and you need to bathe.
What?
The illogical explanation is that because you are translating the cat text, you are somehow now magically attracting cats. But that would be in your head, not mine.
No, it's not in my head. Not at all. I am nothing like cult worshippers or magic believers or anything. I am a skeptic. There was nobody in the temple at all. Nobody saw me. I don't know what you mean by a scent. I didn't spill anything over. There was no perfumes in there or anything.
The cats have a better sense of smell than us.
Maybe you walk through something.
So you walk
No,
into the temple,
no, I
it has spices or herbs or whatever other catnip infused plants in there. And
Catnip.
and now the cats smell it on you. It is as simple as that. Maybe the parchment itself is made of something that has an odor that the cats like, and you're handling the parchment. There are many logical explanations for why the cats would be following you now.
Maybe if this archaeologist wants to speak to me, he can also buy me some new clothes and a place at the baths. But for now, I think I'm gonna go and get some sleep.
I can give you a few coins for some clothes and a bath, and I do so.
Oh. And he kind of double checks, that they're kind of what he thinks they are in terms of quantity. All right. Well, I wasn't expecting that.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Van Hoevelen.
Yeah, you're welcome. Watch out for cats, I suppose.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, we don't seem to have a problem.
To take your thought to Mr. Greene now. I think he will help you.
Yeah. Right. And he kind of
follow him so badly.
staggers out. You want to follow him?
I want to so bad. I don't know if it's worth it though.
It is if you make cat noises.
Just troll him.
I look at him outside the window, just scratching the glass.
Okay, so it is
being serious
clear.
Again. Do you think it is worth it to see at least where it lives?
No. What I believe is what I got from that is Mr. Al-Shakti has the sarcophagus, and what we need to do is to speak to the Mr. Faraz Najjar again, as he has previously successfully burgled Mr. Omar, and we need to do our own burglary of Mr. Omar Al-Shakti. Because we need to. He is the head of the cult. The cult has a sarcophagus. And the cult has a sarcophagus. It also has potentially other artifacts. We know where the cult is. We have their address. What we need to do is burglarize it as we did to the Gavigans, but this time we do it before they find out who we are. Like we did
I
in
believe
Ireland.
that if you open up the Oxford Dictionary and you look for the meaning of suicide, you just read the sentence you just said.
Suicide is doing it like we did in London, where we screwed up. We took too long to find out who was the people we were supposed to be dealing with. We already know. This is like Harlem. We can have a success again. We know who it is.
It's
We
like a
know
success
what-
sandwich.
We even have a person. We even have a
Make
person.
masks great again.
We have a person who has successfully burglarized him before, who can tell us what to expect, and give us a lay of the land, and where things are hidden, and where things are guarded. We have everything we need to take this cult out of action.
Okay, I'm just going to lay down a couple of things with regards to burglarizing Al Shakti. Firstly,
to find out who we are and come for us.
No, we definitely don't want that. Firstly, you're absolutely right. The burglary in Queens was a roaring success. The burglary of the Gavigans less so. I think, therefore, we need to take out the factor that was, there was a factor that was present at the Gavigans that wasn't present at Queens. And I think we need to ensure that that factor is not at this Al Shakti burglary in order to heighten its success. That's me. I wasn't at the Queen's burglary.
Also, thing is that Al Shakti was made already aware that someone stole something from him. So if he had any sort of guards or alarms or whatever,
Yes, it is
now
it's out of date. It could have changed, but having some heads up will help.
I think in all seriousness, I agree that if we're going to hit this guy, we need to hit him before he finds out about us. Or
he is the head of the cult. At some point, we are going there. The question is whether we go sneaking or whether he drags us in chains and does this shit to us. And I hold up my burnt hands.
Yeah.
We don't know where to burglarize, though, do we? I mean, they could
We
be
have his address.
well, they could be hiding the sarcophagus in this hidden chamber within the pyramid.
We could speak to Najjar again. He's been at if he's been at Al Shakti's house, he could give us a layout.
Exactly.
It gives us something to plan with.
At least then we know where things are likely to be hidden.
Well, we're going to do that. We need to hit. We need to go and see him first thing tomorrow. We can't.
I agree.
Because I was going to go to the museum tomorrow, but I think Najjar takes precedent.
We also need to make a note that Agatha Broadmoor and James Gardner are cultists in the Clive expedition. There may be people in that expedition who are not cultists, but those two are.
If you think he's a cultist, then what would you think his reason for putting the Dutch guy Van Hoeren onto the scrolls?
No, Martin Winfield is probably not a cultist. At least I have no suspicion of him.
I think, yeah, there's clearly been some sort of power struggle.
There are cultists in that expedition. Agatha Broadmoor is clearly one, as is the Gardner man.
The question then becomes Dr. Clive himself. How much does he know?
Well, he probably wanted to. I'm guessing he maybe is the innocent one here, but it is a guess. I do not know.
I don't know. They seem to be. The one thing seems to be clear with what's happening here in Egypt the cults are making big moves, and they don't seem to be too bothered about who sees it. I mean, even they swiped a sarcophagus without anyone noticing, but that drew a lot of attention because it was essentially a locked door mystery. That drew a lot of attention. They don't seem to care, they don't seem to be doing anything subtle here at all.
Well, everyone seems to be pretty scared about Shakti here, don't they? So
Al Shakti, I think, has dug himself in here, socially speaking.
Yes, he is a powerful man here.
I mean,
we definitely have to get rid of him. He is the head of the cult here. We know this already.
I think that's a given. So yeah, we need floor plans, some sort of guide to the house from Najjar. The only thing I worry about is if we get the information from him. If this goes bad, the fact, are we leaving the possibility that they might think Najjar gave us the info? Because I'd hate to see it come back on him. I think that guy's suffered enough.
The only possible link between him and us is our Toledo man, Salim Naziz, which is why I was trying to make sure Naziz did not, if he was some kind of secret cultist, he wouldn't think necessarily.
He certainly seemed to be as
Shakti house after what? After him? After something we may find interesting for our ends. We get in his house and then what?
We don't
know anything about this guy beside the fact that of course he's the head of the cult, of course he's in business with Gavigan. Other than that,
he has the sarcophagus. He has a sarcophagus which we need to make sure he does not have access to. We know he has other things also, and he has been getting items returned there as well. So we know he has cult paraphernalia, as that some of it relates to this. What did they call it? The great endeavor that we are trying to stop. We can be fairly certain that the sarcophagus is part of that great endeavor.
Yeah, that's what bothers me.
So we need to make sure that we take that back and away from him before he identifies who we are and he's looking for us. It's not hard to find a European person in Cairo.
Talk for yourself.
You're staying in the most obvious hotel. You are white. How well do you think? Oh no, you're not.
I'm not white.
You're hanging around with white.
I'm not white. I can blend in.
How well do you think you blend in stood next to us?
I don't know her.
Well, I mean, it's
never seen that woman before.
No, I mean the point is it's if they have. I mean, for example, if they've got, just to extrapolate for a moment, this is me theorizing rather than coming up with anything. If they've got eyes on Van Heuvelin just in case, then they've got eyes on us.
Why should they have eyes on Van Heuvelin?
I'm theorizing.
A moment.
I'm
You're thinking about the Clive expedition or Omar al-Shakti?
All Van Heuvelin knows is that he met some Europeans. He did not get their names, and one of them gave him a card to this man called Winston Greene, who's apparently the best hieroglyphic.
Yes. Yes. On the subject of turnaround is fair play. When I did my grand deception regarding your qualifications, I wasn't putting you in mortal dread and peril.
Yes, but I wanted you to have the opportunity to get those scrolls away from him, or at least see what they were.
I'd like to
Gotcha.
remind you, though, Winston, that you gave Gavigan all our real names of all of us, not just Françoise.
because honestly, I
Four
didn't think I could
names.
lie through my
Four
teeth.
names. Yes.
Yes, and you stitched me up for being the translator, so have it back.
Where's that consulate?
It is next door.
Yes, it's next door.
As I said last week, damned it's not an embassy.
By the way, are you having this kind of together at the hotel in front of Salim, or have you kind of sent him away for the day?
No. We sent him away before we even went out for this.
Fine.
No, we're not having this conversation.
Okay, cool.
We'll be having it back at the hotel. We'll be having
Probably
it in
have a dinner
Spanish.
or something.
We'll be having it in Spanish and as well, because that's the language we go to, isn't it?
Yeah,
between us
have
all.
done that before.
Yeah.
And also, sorry, I've forgotten. Did you say that you did send Najar to the mosque or not in the end?
No,
give
we
a
didn't.
message. No. Okay. Cool.
Let's have a look at the corkboard again.
Although Winston may have actually told him to do so and given our full names to the mosque.
Well, I can.
Winston did not give anyone's names.
I can let you
This
decide that as
time.
players. Like, I wouldn't just say because the conversation that happened. Yes, if you definitely don't want him to do that, then we can do it. Or if you do want him
No,
to.
I actually we left him before we made any definitive plans about the other mosque, because we were at that point we were just going to go to the mosque ourselves.
Yeah, cool. That's why I didn't write it down, because I just remembered. Okay.
No, I fully agree. We need that Al Shakti. We need to hit before he finds out about us, because it won't take him long.
Yeah.
Especially if Gavigan sends a blooming telegram with basic descriptions of us to all his contacts,
as he has done for the man in Singapore. I forget his name.
Do you mean Shanghai again?
Yes, of course. Always mean Shanghai. Never say it first time. What is your point here?
The only thing that talks about Singapore is one of the stops in the Ivory Wind. Everything else is Shanghai.
Yeah.
So please just do a word replace on everything I said.
Well, we've
alias.
We have now added to the number of things about Singapore that is of note, because several items that were meant to go to Cairo are now going to Singapore.
Okay, but apart from that, and apart from
what have the Romans ever done for us?
Yeah. Apart from the aqueduct, the education, the medicine.
What have the Romans ever done for us? Give peace?
So, the night is drawn in. There is one more prayer of the day, so the fifth prayer. So you do see a couple of people head on out. But apart from that, not really anything eventful happens this evening. So again, it's whether you want to do anything before the next day.
I'm just reading this letter again to Carlisle. He's actually in Cairo.
Who is?
Bayside.
Al Shakti is in Gazira. We did get a location for him.
Yeah, Jazeera Mohammed, it's about 9 kilometers north of Cairo on the other side of the river.
No, you're saying Bassett's in Cairo.
Oh, Basal.
It says here, the letter to Carlisle was from Cairo.
Yes,
Egypt.
it was. Granted, it was a few years ago, but it was indeed addressed from Cairo.
It sounded like he has some sort of, shop or dealings here. I wonder if he's still here. It must be worth talking to him. Because if he's still here...
I have the feeling that this, well, it is not a feeling, it's a knowledge. This Warren Bassad, he is obviously a cultist. He's working with the Carlisle expedition. So if he is still here, the time to talk to him will be after the raid on Omar al-Thingy.
Omar al-Thingy. Oh dear.
So yes, I do agree. He could still be here, and we should look for him. But we should not make ourselves known to the allies of Omar al-Shakti before we get the sarcophagus and other paraphernalia away from him.
I just wondered if he wasn't an ally of Shakti, because he's saying this stuff to Carlisle rather than Shakti.
It is true. It is, but he is still a cultist.
Possibly.
Well, it could be a similar situation, a similar relationship as we had in London, where you've got two cultists ready to stab each other in the back to get top spot and quite happy to sacrifice us either way to get it done. They could be rivals rather than,
To confirm or deny that.
I would have thought the way Shakti is being described here, I would have thought if they were rivals, he would have bumped him off by now, 4 years ago.
Bear in mind that Faraz did insinuate that, Shakti might have done something to him, punished him or something as well.
Yeah, it could well be a defunct figure within the cult that we are about to deal with. But yes, I agree. We should look for him, but after the raid. Let's just not reveal ourselves more.
Okay.
We'll keep our allies hidden and keep ourselves hidden this time, not like London, which was, I admit, a huge cock-up.
We're going after Shakti before we get the stuff from the mosque, or...
I think so.
Yeah.
The more we do in Egypt, the more we are likely to be revealed as to who we are.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not a comfortable position, but it's true that the truth is every moment is a moment closer to them finding out we're here.
Yes. We need to act with a certain amount of celerity, alacrity, speed.
You had me at alacrity.
I'm sorry, Giorgio?
We definitely need a car for that.
Yes, I agree.
To ensure our getaway from the...
And 4 burqa outfits.
What?
The burqa things,
Local garb.
Not necessarily burqas. That's a common misconception. The burqa's the one with like the meshy visor.
Perfect.
Do you mean
The hijab.
a chadar, which is the one which covers everything bar the face? There's lots of different ones.
No, the burqa is a better disguise.
Ah, I see.
I said burqa and I meant the burqa.
Okay.
For
How
results.
dare you? How dare you? She
Or a
says
niqab.
burqa. She means burqa. She means
Alright.
burqa.
Well, lots of people get burqa and niqab mixed up.
Hope we've got to do
Like
too
she
much.
says Singapore and she means Shanghai.
Yeah. Actually,
How
definitely
dare
means a
you?
burqa. Or a burqa.
You don't have to do too much climbing wearing that.
It's got plenty of room for your legs. It is fine.
Yeah, I don't believe there's...
Perfect
My-
burqa the racing outfit. Sorry, Giorgio, I spoke over you.
No, I was saying that I don't believe there's much to do this evening besides waiting for tomorrow and then decide where to go first.
I think we should have a pleasant meal.
Our last one.
Our last one.
You're that certain,
he
are you?
beat me to it. That's why I put the pause in. I was just going to see if anyone else said it before I did.
People
You
on
haven't
three
lost
hit
any
points.
sanity today either.
On 3 hit points are in that way, yes.
Tomorrow we need to find car, guns, burgers, and then we do the raid. Oh, and we speak to our friend who can give us a layout.
Yeah. I think there's maybe I think if we're going to speak to Najjar, it should be maybe just the one or two of us. We go to his shop and we make a point of buying stuff.
Did he actually say he'd ever been to Al Shakti's place, though? I don't think he did.
He said he stole the items.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got to have intimate knowledge of the place.
Still, I don't believe he specified he stole them from his house or another property.
He did
Well,
not specify
yeah.
because we did not ask. So now we go back to ask.
And if he did steal from the house, he had to have plans. There's no way he walked in on that blind.
Or if he did not have plans, he at least walked about the house and now knows something, you know?
Yeah.
Knows where he keeps the stuff, knows there is a safe, and now we need to know to get into a safe. You know, he will know this stuff. It is true, as you said before, that since that burglary, he might have improved his security, but also we know he is a cultist who casts magic spells, so maybe he does not feel he needs more security. He did, after all, deal with the theft.
Yep.
So, it can only help to be more informed.
Yes.
And it does
After
not
the-
reveal us to do so.
After our lovely meal, Last Supper, I will go to the concierge and I will ask for some blank paper.
Yep.
Several
For your last
sheets of
will
it.
and testament.
I'm going to write my last will and testament just
Are you
in case.
actually? Oh my god. Okay.
I'm being deadly
this
serious at this
now,
point.
But
I was going to say I was going to send a telegram to my father, but okay. Or my parents. Yeah.
Oh no, that's next. That's happening in the morning before we go on the raid. Tell Clara I love her. You know, as we head off to certain doom.
We've done this twice before. Once we didn't even get hurt.
Yes,
wait,
but
It's just I was not hurt.
I mean, Winston got very badly hurt.
No, he was hiding behind a billiard table.
No, before then, he was nearly beaten after death.
yes,
He was beat.
yes, which is why I was.
That was in London, was it not?
No,
in New York.
in New York.
Oh,
I got battered black and blue. That's why I was.
And
That's
fed
why I was
back
bravely.
to
That's why I was bravely defending billiard tables at the time when that big dragony thing hit.
It's like a billiard table then.
Hey, if I find a billiard table in Al Shakji's house, I'm having it. Defend it with my very life. I'll carry it around with me. As long as this is here, I am safe.
Wow. It's like in a video, like one of the older video games where you approach a certain item, like a clock, and then you can save the game there, sort of thing. It's a billiard table, I can save the game now.
It's a refresh point.
Yeah. Well, oh dear. Well, I think that is a good place to draw the session to a close, unless there's anything specifically you want to do immediately after your meal.
Well, yes, to go to Salou, I am absolutely bursting.
Okay. Bien sûr. Cool.
Au revoir, audience.
All right. Au revoir. Thank you as well, everyone, for a great session once again.
Yeah,
you.
thank
Thank
very
you
much.
for having us. As always, mate.
And yeah, we'll see you on Saturday for Ronnie's, I guess, first session of Savage Worlds.
Yes. Yes.
And yes. Oh yeah, who's doing recap now? Who's next?
It's up
me
to me,
next.
I guess.
It is. Oh.
Oh.
I think it might be Giorgio.
I recall that it was Phil, Becky, Ronnie, and me.
Yeah, I'm after Giorgio then.
Yes, it is because you did it like 3 sessions ago, Perry. You're the first one who got the D8
Yes.
luck. So it is you next, Giorgio.
I'm writing it down because I will likely forget about it.
Yeah.
That was a good session.
Yeah, hopefully not as much of an info dump that time, but you've got some nice
Not
ideas and leads.
not a critique. It's just it was a very exposition heavy session.
Yeah.
Last session.
Yeah, and again, I just didn't really expect it. Like I said, I read everything, but I didn't think it would manifest in such an info dump.
Yeah.
But it ended up being that way. So yeah.
Break into Al Shakti's place, then we're going to break into the mosque.
And then you're going to possibly break into a pyramid if you're going to pursue that line of inquiry. You're going to break into the Clive expedition. You're going to break into the museum.
Well, you see,
The
the thing is, we have a reason why we're breaking into a pyramid. Because that way, when we die, at least we're going to be in a really great place to be buried. I mean, a seriously great place.
Yes. Well, we'll just see what happens. But yeah, I'm going to end the broadcast.
Yes. Good
Okay.
night,
Thanks,
everybody.
everyone.
Boys.